Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Dinks with Kinks. Before we get into tonight's episode, I want to remind everyone that we are on social media at Dinks with Kinks on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Not to mention, we have started doing video live streams. You should come check it out. They're really fun. You can find that at twitch.tv/thedondero every Friday night at 10 p.m. Eastern. I am your host, John Dondero, and with me, as always, the most stunning set of eyes you could ever see, Miss Rebecca.
Oh, thanks. Oh, hello, everyone.
And a man with eyes that could literally peel your soul apart, Mr. Shep.
No,
Good
that's
evening,
not fair.
I think. Now
You
that
both
I'm
have beautiful
feel
sets
related
of
to
eyes.
a Hellraiser character.
I've just seen how he looks at me. That's the only time I've
Shep,
ever seen Shep's eyes.
you stare deep into my soul, but for different reasons.
Listen, every time Shep looks at me, it's always with that, I could peel your soul apart. And I'm not wrong.
I mean, I do have a plugger for that.
Yeah, you do. And it's a fun one. How you guys doing this week?
Good. I'm doing really well.
Yeah. You guys ready for our very fun subject tonight? I don't want to look a gift horse in the eye. So I'm just going to get right into it. Tonight we're talking about eye contact restrictions. And no, we're not saying that you can't wear your contacts. You can wear contacts. You can wear glasses. But this is a kink where, and it stems from a dom sub kink about not being able to make eye contact with your dom.
Well,
and
I mean,
didn't.
Isn't that common knowledge? Sorry to interrupt there, but you know, we always make the comment of no. Don't make eye contact to fuck it up. Isn't that like a running joke?
Oh. Oh.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. I didn't know this was a thing. I mean, well, I had never thought about it being a thing.
I did.
Oh. Okay, well, listen, I was the one in the dark. It's cool. No one looked me up. No one saw me eye to eye. But tonight, I think I will get eye to eye with this kink.
But have you ever had a sub that never looked at you in a scene? That always looked down at the ground?
Yeah, but I never thought about it being a thing.
Oh, yeah.
Like it was intentionally done. Because I've had people who, exactly that. They would not make eye contact. They would typically look down at the ground, very subservient. But this is actually something that turns people on. And I was in the dark, and now I know.
It's a real thing as your thing. Yes.
Well, I'm going to ask my resident dom and my resident sub. Is this something that you have had acts with in the past? Like, have you experienced, or is this something that you may be into? I know we usually do the would you will at the end, but I want to start doing it at the beginning as we go into it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
maybe
switching it up.
An initial response to an educated at the end response type of thing.
Absolutely, yeah. This is, have you done it? At the end, we're going to talk about would you do it?
Gotcha. Yes, I have done it. It's a sign of submission. It can also be used as humiliation, so it all depends on the person you're with. It depends on what you've negotiated, sort of how the play works out. But for me, it's not something that is degrading, and I don't do it it's not I can never do it. Like that's a rule, that's a protocol, because some people do it as a protocol. It's eye contact, especially in the animal world, it's an aggressive behavior. And so to deny looking somebody in the eye, to look down, is a sign of servitude and submission. So a lot of that's sometimes a lot of in the dynamic of when you are slaves, or you live the lifestyle, you very rarely look your dom in the eye. I do it as a plaything. I do it as a sign of submission, but I never, it's not the whole time. It's just something, you know, something that is that
no
the Dom can
survive.
see. No brat can survive. Not like, but it's a
That
sign
would-
of submission.
That would explain why I have so many bad times at zoos, because I try to make eye contact with everything. Yeah, I get that. You know, that's starting to make sense. You know what?
You do it like they
That's
do on the
starting to-
Discovery Channel.
Yeah, that's starting to open my eyes to a lot of problems I've had in life, mainly related around zoos and camping. What about you, Mr.
I think
Shep?
he's more like Mad Max version. Witness me while making eye contact.
I do like uncomfortable amounts of eye contact in inappropriate times. So I got to say, yeah, I want to make eye contact while we poop. Just, you know, that's what I want, the glory hole in the stall, but I want it at eye level. So while you're pooping and I'm pooping, we can just meet eye to eye. That's an uncomfortable amount of eye contact, which I guess is restrictive if I'm telling you to look into my eyes. No, look at me. I am the captain now.
It's actually sort of, it's very erotic when, especially as a sub, when you're doing the eye contact denial, and then when you're getting close to coming or whatever, and they say look at me, and they like, it's that change, that it is very erotic when they do that, and it's the switch.
You're right. What about you, Mr. Shep? Is this something that you have experienced in your travels, knowingly experienced in your travels, or asked for out of your subs?
Never been asked. I knew of this as a fetish, like vaguely. But all the experiences I've had with this scenario, it's always been just a natural flow of the session or the moment.
Honestly, I think that's been my experience with it in the thing. It's just one of those things where I've never asked for. It's never been a rule. It's happened, and I wasn't aware that this was part of it consciously. You know, like I wasn't like, this is a fetish, or this is a kink. But yeah, this is actually, the more I've read about it, it does typically, when asked for, falls under the category usually of degradation, humiliation. Like, you do not deserve to look upon me with your eyes. And so, but I like how you explained it is absolutely more, it can be both sides of the coin. It can be very playful, very like, I mean, a brat refusing to look at a dom. I'm not gonna
I think for me, I don't, because I don't do degradation because of PTSD and trauma, but I do it and because I'm a primal sub, that's when like you earn that. Like, that's usually when you know that you've won, is when it's no, like, sort of like in the animal kingdom, like when you challenge them to the point and then finally you give in. It's you don't look at them, you bow your head. It's that behavior, but you can use it like you said as degrading, and some people, I mean, that is just, that gets them off, and that's great for them. It's just not for me. That's not how I use it. So
well,
most people, because I do have pretty eyes, most people want me to look at them.
Look at me. Look at me. Look at me in the eyes.
I'm the captain now.
Look at me. I am the dom now. That's a good Switch line. I don't know why we no one has brought that up. Like, if you're a Switch, look at me. I am the dom now.
Yes.
Oh, that's it. That's going on a shirt. I am the dom now.
I am the dom now.
Look at me.
Oh, we should do that. I am the dom now. # Switch.
Yeah.
There we go. I like that. So yeah, and I kind of get both factors, because not being able to look at, and like you were saying, it's an act you have to earn, but also like as far as like being a brat, I've had brats just be like, I'm not going to acknowledge you. I'm not looking at you. I am actively avoiding, like, almost a power play. Like, no, I'm not going to look at you. I'm not going to acknowledge it. Very playful. So my initial research into this kink led me to believe that this is very much a degradation, dom sub, solely the dom administers that as a punishment or a form of degradation. But then the deeper I dig, my little hands, and I'm digging into that internet, and in my own personal experiences, I've had people refuse to look at me, or when they fully submit, look down at the floor, and I've seen every aspect of this kink and just how it's done.
And I was thinking about this when I mean, I didn't have to do a lot of research because I've experienced this. But think about, I was trying to think about it from the dom side, in that some people deal with a lot of shame or embarrassment, and they don't want people to look at them because people looking at them makes them uncomfortable. So to be able to get sexually aroused or able to perform sexual acts, they don't want people to look them in the eye or look at them. And so that is how you can sometimes make it a fetish and a kink, is that just don't look at me. Don't look at me. We can do whatever, just don't look at me. And I can see how that it's not degrading as much as it is sort of just helping you, like, help somebody's like need to get, to have sexual gratification.
It's the anxiety kink.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I can get that. It's the opposite of 1, 2, 3
exhibitionism.
Yeah, it's the
Chef's like, nah. Y'all go ahead. He's refused, just stared at us.
It's the not wanting to be looked at.
Mm-hmm.
It's non-expositional. You know what? No, it's just the opposite of the word we said that we can all say, that everyone here can say, that we're really good at saying, that we say all the time.
Yeah, and I feel like in a way it could relate to the, people, they're in the very dominant roles in their outside world, so then they kind of naturally flow into the sub role to escape all that stuff. This could be similar to that in a way of some people are just forced to be in the limelight with all eyes on them at all times, and that can add, like I said, a lot of anxiety and stress and everything else, and an escape to that can be maybe this fetish. So not just a degradation, but that escape.
I can say that is true for me a lot. You spend your life like talking to people and having to be like make the eye contact and greet the people and be it's nice to not have to, and just
and it be
not have to make that contact.
Okay and acceptable, and actually welcomed, that we don't actually have to make eye contact and communicate other ways.
Right.
Absolutely. And that's when we first started talking about this kink, I was like, this is going to be nothing. Like, you just don't look me in the eye. Don't look at me. Look over there. Don't look at me. Don't make eye contact with me. Yeah, you turn your head. That kind of kink. But it's so much more. It's so many angles, so many different reasons, and they're like we just said. There's so many reasons to have this kink. It's not like, usually most of the kinks we talk about, you can pretty much pinpoint, this is a trauma response, this is a media-driven kink, this is a genetic wiring kink, this is something that has stemmed from one of these three roots, and this is a kink that's like, it could be anything. It just depends on the context. This is a context kink. Ooh.
Ooh.
I like that.
Yeah, because I definitely can't see it as the degradation stuff, but I was just thinking a little bit more about it, and you think it more from the more playful aspects of how many people were so into you, or so had such crushes on you that if you made eye contact with them, they just had to look down or look away, and then they blush.
You know, honestly,
Just
I just thought I
because of
was
that
really.
attention.
Honestly, I just thought I was very ugly in high school because everyone looked away.
It did make me smirk because, John, you're a witness to when one of our previous guests was over, and I would just happen to glance over, and that person just turned into a little ball of giggles and said, "Stop looking at me," and just had to look away and stuff.
Oh, absolutely. I have personally witnessed it.
That was
I have had that experience as an adult recently, not since I shaved my beard, but there's been a couple times, you go to the grocery store, you're talking to somebody, and you make that direct eye contact with, and that big flush smile, and that turn away, and yeah, it's a total turn on. It is like, because it instantly triggers all those endorphins and like all that serotonin just releases in your brain, because at that moment you feel giddy, you feel very what's the word I'm looking for, positive about yourself. Like, it is a great esteem booster. So I could see absolutely expanding upon this kink, making it just a outlet to release those endorphins and whatnot. Because I mean, all three of us are very pretty people. I know for a fact, and I've witnessed two people. All three of us have done this. You look over at somebody and they smile and turn away. I've seen it happen to you two, with you guys looking at somebody and that reaction happening. And I've experienced it. And it is quite a big rush, Dom or not. Dom, sub, doesn't matter. That is
I think for me, I'm very expressive. I am incredibly expressive, and most, you two included, like, you can always tell, even no matter what I'm like, if my mouth is smiling or whatever, you know exactly how I'm feeling by my eyes and how the expression of my eyes. And so when I'm trying to like just did not like look away, like not give away anything, I think as the bratty side, that's probably what I would do if I wasn't looking at you. I'm like, no, see, we're not letting you know you win. Like, we're not letting you know you're winning yet.
Do you think Quinn from Jaws, when he was talking about the shark's eyes, do you think he had a eye contact restriction kink, and he was trying to get it with that shark?
Why are you this person? Why?
Okay, so that happened because I was at a pub last night and I literally saw a picture of Quinn from Jaws, and I just think back to the shark's eyes. They're like doll eyes, and they look at you, and I'm like, I wonder if he had eye contact restriction kink. And he was like, "Don't look at me, shark. You're not allowed." And then he killed Jaws.
Yeah.
Because Jaws looked him in the eyes. He didn't kill Jaws. Jaws killed him. Ooh. Spoiler.
And I guess it's just my personality, but the more I'm thinking about this kink and examples and such, the less I'm thinking of it in the degradation style, and more of like another example of for people that are the super introverts or just really shy, where it's very difficult for them to look up or make eye contact and stuff like that. For those kind of reasons, this fetish would offer them a safe space or comfort zone where eye contact is not an expectation. So it gives them that level of relaxation and safety.
I have several friends who are high functioning autistic, have high functioning autism, and they cannot make eye contact. Like, it's something that they actively struggle with because of their condition. And so I'm like, this is a good kink for them, because it's one of those things where you don't have to say, well, it's because of my autism. You could say, this is my kink, and it gives you that shield of like, all right, and almost like facade of it's something that I am actively doing for a kink, not because it's who I am as a person, but because it's who I want to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that idea. And like I said, I haven't talked to any of them about it because I just haven't spoken to them this week. But yeah, I'm very curious to see if they're aware of it, because I know one of them is into the kink lifestyle. One of them is a very active listener to this podcast, so I am excited to hear their opinion on this after we've covered it. So I'm excited. Yeah, this is a fun kink. I wasn't into it when I first started researching it, but the more holes I went down, and like I said, it's
The more holes you went down or you went in?
A little bit of both. A little column A, a little column B.
Okay, well, you know what? I support that. I'm okay with that.
Like I said, it's all in the context. It's a context kink. And I like several other contexts for this kink. I like the bratty, I'm not going to look at you. I'm into that. Playful, because you know me, I'm a bratty dom. I want a brat to play with. I am not a brat tamer. I want to actively fight my brat. Because I like cat and mouse. Sorry, that was a shout out to Rebecca's cat, who's named Mouse.
She's being a pain in my ass right now.
She's not. Don't look her in the eye.
Rather catty, yes.
She's being catty.
Don't look her in the eye.
Catty.
Don't look her. I won't look her in the eye. Like,
don't look her in the eye.
Talking about facial expressions. That one.
Yeah, she'll come after you. She's like, you don't look at me. She has that kink. Your cat has that kink. Don't look her in the eye. Don't do it.
I will have to admit, if I bow my head and I don't look somebody in the eye, I honestly, like, that is probably one of the biggest praises that I could give somebody that I'm with, because I'm very challenging most of the time. So it's one of those, it's one of those, that's like your cue. You know, it's like, you've done a good job. Like, you've won. I'm going to let you.
You're doing a good job.
You're doing a good job.
I can't look at you because I'm blushing too much. I've hit praise kink limit.
But also, like, I think the release of, like, the eye contact restriction is also kind of hot.
We haven't talked about blindfolds.
Ooh, we haven't. Yeah, that's also very active. Yeah, blindfolds, not being able to look at stuff like that. Absolutely. Oh,
I almost wonder if
one
blindfolds
question.
would fit into this, because
actually, yeah, when I was doing research,
to cover your eyes and all that, yeah, but it's not at that point, it's no longer a choice. Your eyes are just covered. I don't know.
No,
but when I was doing my research, a lot of the blindfolds were included in this kink, and it's people who like blindfolding. They like restricting and not letting that person see. So it's not just necessarily restriction as in don't look at me. It's literally don't see. It's don't look at anything, and that's also give submission and giving over that power. It's along those lines.
I do appreciate a kink that comes with accessories.
Yeah,
and
it's great to accessorize.
This is actually all my research. The number one thing that popped up was blindfolds, and it's not like blindfolds, and this is where the context comes in the context of I am not allowing you to see is where it really comes into. It's not, I want to wear a blindfold so I can't see. And so, like I said, blindfolds themselves are their own kink for that reason. But this is one of those things where I am a dom and I do not want you to be able to see what I'm going to do to you. So I'm going to blindfold you. And that's what makes it eye contact restriction. Now, my question is, what about eye patches? Can I restrict eye contact in one eye? We're like, we're just doing the lefty tonight.
You know what? I'll allow it. I'll allow
this
it.
is not going to be one of those half-assed
yes.
kinks.
Yeah,
No, it's a half eye kink.
Arr.
That sounds more like poop deck plundering there than this
Oh,
fetish.
you know what? I'll allow that too.
Yep. Okay. There it is. I'm not proud
There
of
it is.
it,
It's
but I'll
awesome.
allow it.
Shep wins. Shep wins this episode.
So as somebody who wasn't aware, I think I'm the only one who really gets to do the would you will, because I think you both have stated that you would actively do this kink. After researching this and learning into it, I was apparently in this kink all along. In so many different aspects of it, like so many different contexts. Of this context kink, which is my new favorite word. I'm saying it all week. Buckle up, world. You guys don't let me say it in the live stream next, because it'll spoil this episode.
Okay.
Don't let me do it.
What word are we not letting you say?
Context kink.
Context.
Because it's totally
Do
going
it.
to spoil this episode that comes out tomorrow.
You know you're gonna say it.
I am. But then, if they watch the live stream on twitch.tv/thedondero every Friday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, you'll be like, I got that. I got that reference. I got that joke. A day later.
Good boy, you're doing a good job.
boy.
So good.
Yeah, I was just thinking about it. I was like, wow, it's been a long time since I put a blindfold on someone else.
Mm-hmm.
I love blindfolds.
I have
Usually it
never
was me
acted.
wearing the blindfold before I started vlogging.
Ooh, blindfolded
Blindfolds.
vlogging.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
It's been a minute,
Yeah.
but yeah. I
That's
used to
kind
be
of, isn't that just
proficient at.
Isn't that just what a pinata is?
I.
Is that the pinata kink? It's impact play
No,
with
see,
blindfolds.
Nope. See, I went too far. I see. You give them an inch.
And I take a mile. I got my eyes on the prize. I'm looking directly at the eyes.
You give him the
All
ooh,
right.
he goes for the ah.
I know, right?
All right, guys. Well, you guys want to hear what we're talking about next week? We still have a Miss
Please don't let
Rebecca
it be
on
me.
that.
Please
We
don't let
still
me be.
have.
Please
She
don't
is
let me
still
be.
on the wheel. Here we go.
Please don't let you
Let's
what?
see. Let's see. She just wants to get off on that wheel so bad.
Oh God.
That's different. That's something different.
Well, color me pink and let me giggle. Next week, we're going to do my favorite thing to make people do. We're going to talk about blushing. Getting a little flush, getting a little blush. Oh, I'm
Rebecca,
excited.
You're doing a good job.
Well, Miss Rebecca, you're doing a good job right now. Hey, listen, you are really representing next week's kink, and I'm liking it. I'm really enjoying that.
Fucking hate you
Um,
guys.
Look at me. Look at me.
Look at me.
Good.
Make eye contact. There it is. Talk
I hate you.
about a
Witness
good
my
transition.
You're looking good tonight. Doing a good job.
You looking fine tonight. So, yes, join us next week as we're going to be discussing what Miss Rebecca does most of the podcast anyway, blushing. I remember when I added this well, I was telling y'all about that.
This is going to be another interesting one.
Mm-hmm. This is definitely one of those paraphilia things where it's you're seeing something. It's a very visual kink, and I am for it. But as I've done research, because I had to make sure it was an actual kink before I put it on the wheel. You know what? I'll talk about that next week. If you want to hear, stay tuned next week for blushing. Guys, I want to remind everyone that you can find us on that social media at Dinks with Kinks, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We're there. We want to hear from you. Reach out, talk to us. And if you want to talk to us live and in person, you can do that every Friday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at twitch.tv/thedondero. All the links are down below in the description. I am one of your hosts, John, and with me tonight, Mr. Shep.
That sounded kind of plain there.
Hold on.
What happened?
I'm building to it. The ever blushing Miss Rebecca?
Until next time, everyone.
Good evening.
And you can make people blush if you just change the pattern of what they're expecting. Bam. They both blushed. Good night, everybody.
Did they, though? Did they?
You did. You got a little flush when you didn't see it coming.